This segment of the Alice Stewart Show is brought to you by Aero Plumbing. For all your household or business plumbing needs, call Aero Plumbing at 1-866-PLUMBER or schedule an appointment online at aeroplumbing.net.
Welcome back to the Alice Stewart Show, 7:34 on a beautiful but chilly Tuesday morning. And we have been talking what's going to happen during this next legislative session here in Arkansas. Had the pleasure of speaking with State Representative Joe Jett, earlier talking with Representative Fred Love. And not just legislators gearing up for the session, but there are groups, advocacy groups, that are weighing in and preparing for talking with legislators. And one of them is the Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families. And we're here with the Executive Director, Rich Huddleston. Rich, great to have you here.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
And you have been with this Arkansas Advocates for a long time, 20 years, and gearing up for many things, the session specifically for now. What does your organization do? You focus on helping families and kids, but what is the main focus of Arkansas Advocates?
Sure. We are a private nonprofit organization, and our mission is to promote good public policy to ensure that all children and families have the resources and opportunities they need to lead healthy and productive lives. And so we work on a range of important policy issues impacting children and families: education, health care, child abuse and neglect, juvenile justice. I mean, we've worked on just about every important issue over the years. We also do work on tax and budget issues, and but right now those 4 or 5 issues are kind of our main issues right now.
And it's not a government program; it's an individual advocacy group.
Yeah. We do not provide any direct services, so we do not get government funding, and so we rely on private contributions and foundation grants. And so, but our mission is advocacy and trying to promote good public policy. And
folks want more information, you can go to aradvocates.org, and really great website that gives you all the details. And one of the items that you have, or emphasis or focus, your mission is to serve as a voice for children here at the state capitol and in Washington, D.C. And you and your staff are always at the Capitol and during session and other times to really make sure that the voices of children are heard. What are you doing in terms of gearing up for this session? Now you have pre-legislative conferences you've had going on across the state, and you have one more. What's the purpose of these?
Sure. We're in the middle of doing 3 legislative conferences. We've already done ones in Jonesboro and in Northwest Arkansas. We have one coming up this Thursday in Little Rock. And the purpose of the pre-legislative conference is to bring advocates together or just interested citizens, and to give them a preview of what we think are going to be the big issues upcoming during the legislative session. And so we bring in outside speakers and guests, and I'm trying to give folks a lot of good information so that they can be aware of big issues that are upcoming, and also our thoughts about what needs to be done during the legislative session.
And it's a good collection of folks from your agency and the Bureau of Legislative Research and others that are in this field. So what are the key issues? What are the key items that you will be addressing or asking for support for during the legislative session?
Well, some of those issues we probably don't even know today yet. But I think just on the face of it for us, of course, the budget's going to be a big issue. Governor-elect Hutchinson is going to be coming in with a big proposed tax cut, going to be a minimum of $100 million. We do have some concerns about that. I think the big question is, where's the money going to come from? I mean, the budget's already tight, and we've had programs like pre-K that have not had an increase since 2008. So next year will be fiscal year 16 will be 8 years without an increase unless something is done. And so there's that. And there are other good programs though, like child welfare, where we've had to use one-time monies to keep that agency budget going, and so where's the money going to come from? But I think the tax cut is currently envisioned also leaves out folks below $20,000 in income, and the one little dirty secret about the Arkansas tax system is that the bottom 20% of taxpayers, those earning less than $16,000, actually pay more in taxes as a percent of their income than do the top 1% of taxpayers, those making over $350,000. And so bottom 20, percent pay 12 cents on every dollar in state and local taxes. The top 1% pay less than 6 cents on every dollar. And so those below $20,000 will be left out unless some changes are made. But I think also for us, we're also concerned, is this just going to kind of be a gateway tax cut? Because the governor's current plan, I think, maxes out at $78,000. But we know that there are going to be proposed tax cuts coming for those above that at some point, whether it's this session or the next session. And so we see the possibility of a perfect storm brewing where you could have these tax cuts. Then if the private option does not get reauthorized, that would actually create a $90 million hole in the state budget, believe it or not. And then there's also this thing called the highway robbery bill, which we helped get defeated last time, which would take future revenue and growth away from things like education, healthcare, social services for vulnerable children, and dedicate it to highways and roads, which by the way, we think highways and roads do need funding too, but let's pay for that through an increase in the gas tax. But if you have all three of these things happen at the same time this session, I mean, we could talk about major devastation for the budget for children and families. So we're concerned.
Rich, you sound like doom and gloom. You sound like the state is going to close up with this legislative session. Now, did it maybe occur to you there's a slight possibility that some of these tax cut plans that will be discussed, of course, the governor-elect has his tax plan in it, and I've seen it. I think it's a good framework for how to deal with taxes. There will be some back and forth, but is there the opportunity, or is there a sliver of thought that maybe all sides will be able to come together and all those issues you just raised will be introduced in the conversation, and there will be possibly some kind of cooperation, and it will benefit everyone you talked about, and also those that are out there creating jobs and working to help people stay employed.
Sure, absolutely, and it's our job as the voice to kind of raise all those doom and gloom issues and to make sure that they don't all happen at the same time.
Right.
And but I'm confident that the governor and the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, advocates can get together to work out a plan that will benefit all Arkansans. I mean, make sure that we have enough to do for health care and education at the same time, and keep tax cuts at least at a manageable level for the future. But we have some thoughts on our own in terms of for folks under $20,000, let's create a state earned income tax credit, which unfortunately is not part of the discussion right now, but we would like to see it be part of that discussion. So I'm confident we can work out something.
And another area of focus for Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families. I'm talking with Rich Huddleston here with Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families. Is also juvenile justice, and actually Governor-elect Hutchinson went to the Jewel of Justice program. And your thoughts on that, and what kind of emphasis and focus needs to be put on juvenile justice?
Well, we are very encouraged by the new governor's focus on that. I mean, I think that sent a clear message that he intends to make that a priority issue. So we were very excited by that visit. And I think for us, kind of the main issue is, we're putting way too many low and moderate risk kids into jail, basically juvenile jails. The one thing that we know that the research says is that kids that go into secure confinement for long periods of time, come out worse than when they went in, right? And so those types of situations should really only be reserved for the high-risk kids. But low and moderate-risk kids are much better served, community-based programs that are much more effective. And so we would like to see some of those jail beds closed down and that money redirected to community-based programs that can serve these kids better, more effectively. And so I think there's an opportunity there for the governor to really make a statement in terms of where we need to go there.
And I think that issue will get conversation. I think that will get a lot of talk, given what we're seeing with the state prisons and the notion that we should build a new prison to house more people. Because if you build it, it will get filled up. But there are a lot of legislators, Joyce Elliott, leading the charge with Act 1190, the discussion of let's rehabilitate these people. Let's help reduce the recidivism rate, which is at 42%, because we're not rehabilitating these people. And starting it at the juvenile level is critical.
Yeah.
Getting that fixed at that point. So I think that issue that will get a lot of attention during the session. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back with Rich Huddleston, the Executive Director at Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, and talk more about what they will focus on in the months and weeks to come. And once again, you can find out more at aradvocates.org. And we'll be back after this. This segment of the program brought to you by Arrow Plumbing. For all of your household or business plumbing needs, give them a call, 501-588-3200, or go online at arrowplumbing.net.